Welcome to Fuki Cafe. I'm Ivy Cohn, and joining me today from New Zealand are Guy McPherson, Pauline Schneider, and Kevin Hester. Welcome.
Thank you, and good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, it is. It is Thursday in New Zealand in the morning.
9 a.m.
It has been a very busy week plus for all three of you. Kevin, you are actually the one who's responsible for Guy and Pauline sitting there on the island and putting together this tour. Can you just give us a quick overview of the amazing tour you put together?
Well, we haven't quite covered the whole country, but we've got most of it except for the bottom part of the South Island. Some of our organisation was thrown into chaos by earthquakes that are happening in New Zealand. There's an enormous number of earthquakes taking place. We had one recently that was over 7 on the Richter scale and closed the roads where we were going to drive. So the tour is a little bit of a moving target at the moment.
Well, what you've gotten under your belt so far, could perhaps, Guy, could you give us maybe a highlight from one of the presentations that struck you and stuck in your mind?
Well, we opened with an interview on the Paul Henry show, which is about as mainstream and right-wing as it gets here in New Zealand. And it was the perfect kickoff for the tour because it completely engaged. And so there's that video floating around on the internet all over the place. And it was really good beginning.
Yes, that was one of the only things.
That's really a highlight so far, one of the highlights.
It was excellent. That is the one piece I have been able to see was your time with Paul in the studio. And what a great way to start the tour. Some of the other presentations.
You're breaking up. We couldn't hear what you said there.
Yeah, well, I think we're all breaking up. It's a sign of the times. What a brilliant way to start the tour with Paul Henry.
Indeed.
But I think another really significant piece of this tour is that Pauline has been able to bring the live streaming element in. Pauline, could you speak to that a little bit?
Well, Kevin has set up a couple live streams, and I decided to go ahead and live stream one of the events that he hadn't set it up for, and it's already been viewed over 1,500 times, so it's been very successful.
I think that in the moment,
do that again.
Excellent. I hope you're able to do that and that your bandwidth allows you to do that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, the bandwidth at places is, yeah, you have to have the bandwidth to be able to do it.
Yeah. I think that the urgency that we're all feeling these days almost demands that we try to get the information to those people who are interested as quickly and effectively as possible. And that's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
So, Guy, I've seen a lot of your presentations in the past, and unfortunately, I have not been able to patch into your live streaming, thanks to the bad bandwidth. But if you were going to compare how your presentations have changed between last year at this time and now, what would you say?
Elements have changed. First, I'm relying upon an essay hosted by Sam Carana at the Arctic News blog that forms the basis for an analysis I conducted August 1st, 2016 at guymcpherson.com. And so Carana actually is courageous enough to add up the feedbacks and the absence of global dimming. And so that's an important part. It makes the evidence simple and straightforward to present, and it becomes largely irrefutable when you're willing to look at the evidence and see how the positive feedbacks or the self-reinforcing feedback loops add up to Armageddon. So there's been great acceptance so far. There's been relatively little anger or resistance to my message. And I think that comes from two factors. One, the evidence being so compelling at this point, and two, it's becoming increasingly difficult to deny what we can see and feel all around us. And even people here at the southern tip of the world, surrounded by the ocean, South Pacific and the Southern Ocean. Changes are happening here too, and all you have to do is stay in your own bunker for the last 5 years and you won't notice them. Most people haven't done that.
Right. Kevin, I know that you have probably noticed some appreciable changes in the receptivity of your New Zealand audiences. Could you just speak to that, following on to what Guy said?
When we were here in 2014, we did meet a lot of pushback from different people. And I think mostly it was based on the fact that they haven't done the same amount of research that we've done. And it is an incredible Rubicon to have to cross to accept the situation that we're in. Coming out in the mainstream press, referring to new science that has been coming out. One perfect example is on November the 10th, The Independent in England published an article saying that we can expect a 7 degrees temperature rise within a generation. In a well-researched article in 2008 by Oliver Takal in The Guardian, he said that at 4 degrees C above baseline, all we can look forward to is extinction. So you have some pretty substantial mainstream media completely mirroring Guy's message. It's quite an extraordinary situation. It's getting easier for us to spread this message.
Yeah, if 4C means extinction, we're headed for 7C. It's pretty difficult to argue with that, especially when it's in, as Kevin pointed out, conservative mainstream sources that for years wouldn't even touch this topic.
Mm-hmm. That's an appreciable change in the last just few months. Of how the mainstream has been able to, you know, adopt this notion and actually be bringing it forward. That's pretty real. But you're right. I mean, you reach a certain point and you can't not see it anymore.
Right. The elephant in the room becomes difficult to deny when it's sitting on your lunch plate.
Yeah. So Pauline, I know that you have done not only, you know, involved in the live streaming, but in the past you have done some film work, going dark, documentary work, documenting Guy along the way. Do you have any plans for an upcoming, you know, bigger project?
Not a bigger project, but I am documenting pretty much everything that's been going on at the trip here. Yes, we'll be doing a shorter documentary, you know, a 30-minute documentary with a different feel to it. And so, you know, not so much, you know, the information and the science-based documentary, but more of a human perspective. So, you know, you and I have done those the Edge of Extinction episodes, the 3-minute videos with Guy, which are, you know, very nice. They're very short and sweet. So I think along that line, something more ethereal and more musical, in a sense, something that can evoke an emotional response rather than an intellectual response, is what I'm looking for.
Excellent. I love this notion because, yes, in fact, the acceptance of what is so, you know, the data is in, now what do we do? And
Yeah.
it's more the like, now what do we do? And it, you know, I like the fact that you use the word musical, because
Yeah.
it's so important for us to, you know, be as fully human as we can and dance and sing and you know, share a poem and all that. And
Well,
you've been harping on this for a while. What do you want to say about the fact that now it's not so much about the data?
Well, Paul, the working title of Pauline's documentary film is Only Love Remains, Dancing at the Edge of Extinction.
Yes. Well, I would love very much to consider getting Kevin into this documentary, Dancing at the Edge of the Sea. Come on, Kevin, you can do it.
I can do it, no problem. But the only trouble is I've made so many mistakes as the tour manager, I might be pushed off the cliff.
Uh-oh. As long as you keep the ice cream, like, you know, available.
The ice must flow.
I'm pretty sure he'd appreciate you not bringing that up, because there was no ice cream last night or this morning, so that's a source of major contention here.
Yeah, it's a breach of the contract.
I see. Well, Kevin, whenever you put together, anyone puts together a tour as complex as what you have put together, I mean, it's, you know, you're going to have some kind of speed bumps and little glitches, and hopefully none of them have been too horrendous, and that the rest of the tour goes well. So what do you still have left in store for Guy?
We're heading south today. We speak in Marlborough, and then we head into Wellington and cross the Cook Strait to the South Island. We have 3 presentations in the South Island, then back to the North Island, and we have 2 in the Wellington region, and then we're going to have a little bit of a holiday, drive up north to Auckland, see some of the scenic sites, dance on the cliff, and make the most of every day.
Absolutely. Okay.
I don't know if you can hear it or not, Ivy, but behind us there is a chorus of birdsong, crickets, frogs, and sheep, all singing in harmony.
Oh, I missed the sheep, but
We're staying and spending your whole life protecting the ecosystem.
So we can hear it now, but only because we haven't killed all those animals yet. We're working on it.
yes, I know the feeling. I sit every morning and I strain my ear to hear underneath the roar of the freeway that I live next to, if there is a bird, can I hear a bird? And if I hear a bird, I am so happy. If I hear 2 birds, I'm like overjoyed. And if I see like a squirrel or I see a bird, I mean, this is where we are. And so, yes,
Wow.
resonating with the life that is still here is really important. And I just thank all 3 of you for being such good resonators with life.
I think the main takeout, the epiphany from this story about how dire the situation is that you are much more sensitized to everything that's happening around you in the natural world, and you absorb it and you take more benefit from it. It's tragic that I've had to get to the edge of extinction for me to understand that and realize it, but I'm there now and I'm making the most of every one of those interactions with the biosphere.
Well, I think that is a beautiful place to wrap the conversation up. We are all becoming more sensitive to the living on the planet and doing our best day by day to just broadcast the life frequency. Again, Pauline, Guy, Kevin, thank you for taking the time to join me, and I look forward to getting this out in a timely fashion. And big hugs to all 3 of you.
Thanks,
you.
Ivy.
Thank you, Ivy.
Too, sweetie.
Bye.
I love you
Kia
so
kaha, stay strong, sister.
Until next time.